On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Um, program and what they're doing is all Black.
Yeah.
And they even asked the presidents of Morehouse and Spelman as far as their input as well too. So we've always wore polo. This has always been in hip hop. You've always seen T.I. polos.
Kanye, when he first started with the polos.
Young Dro.
Right. It's always been an essence in our community as far as our fashion.
Yeah.
So why not show fashion on the other side of how Black people do dress, the upper echelon maybe, or, just looking fly. So.
And they're putting a lot of money behind it too. There's multiple billboards of the campaign of actual Morehouse students all around Atlanta.
Right, they're the model.
A girl I went to high school with is in one. I just saw it on Facebook. She said, "I'm on a billboard, guys," and it was the campaign. It was dope. So them putting money behind the marketing and advertising says a lot too about how they feel about the collection. So I think it's good.
Infiltrate and influence. And what we're seeing is a young man who broke through the ranks and is able to have a legitimate conversation where he can influence. Let me give you another example. In Chicago, Joe Fresh Goods, who's a neighborhood, anyway, I have the utmost respect for that man. This man is able to get New Balance. The man that had the top 5 sneaker, for the last 2 years, he released 2 with New Balance. He's about to release his 3rd one, probably going to end up in the top 5 again, sneaker of the year, and is able to leverage their resources to impact our community. That's what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to infiltrate these corporations and leverage their resources to impact our community. That's what everybody else does. So I salute it. I don't look at it as monetizing or, culture vulture or opportunist. I don't even look at it as paying homage. Just that this is what's supposed to happen. We're in a capitalist society, right?
I'm at this. Oh, yeah. I kind of wanted to get to Courtney, and I think Kelly went to a HBCU too, right? Okay, I kind of want to get you guys intake on it. So, whichever one of y'all can go first.
You want me to? I can't. It's both. I think we're finally understanding as far as the impact of HBCUs and how it can be monetized because of its importance. I think it's very, very huge when these companies are pulling from HBCUs and using, like with this Ralph Lauren has been talking about this since 2020. And what they wanted to do as a company was first select more Black people with working for them. They wanted to connect with HBCU. So this has been in the works for the past couple of years. So not only are they doing this campaign and connecting with Morehouse kids, those models that you see online are Morehouse kids, are Spelman kids. The photographers are all Black. Yep. So it's an opportunity to showcase what we've already known about our HBCUs. And HBCUs, one thing that's important, that is style when you go to a HBCU. There we had a thing, it was called Courtyard Wednesday. Everybody was like, don't schedule a class at noon on Wednesdays. We was like, why not? Because you're gonna fail it. Every Wednesday we dressed up. The men wore suits. The girls had dresses on. Every Wednesday, we would stay in the courtyard and we would have a DJ. This was every single Wednesday. When you go to a HBCU, not only is it community, not only is it education, not only is it family, it's style and it's grace when you go on those campuses. And so this shows the essence. They took pictures back from the 1920s to the 1940s, and they paid homage to those pictures they saw of alpha men wearing those particular sweaters. They took homage of Alpha Kappa Alpha women, Delta Sigma Theta women, and how they dressed back then, and paying homage to them now because it's well-deserved and it's overdue. And I think we can't lie to not understand that you can monetize off this because people go there, people support, and people are going to support this. I know that I sent you something, JR, today, which I think is super dope because it's not just polo. Nike has a brand that they're also representing HBCU paraphernalia. It's more sport attire, and it's called Yard Run. Shout out to Slim and Huskies here in Nashville, Tennessee, because they're representing Tennessee State University. I see you, Clint. But it's sportswear geared for Tuskegee, for FAMU, for Tennessee State University, because we want to represent our school as well, too. So it's a market that hasn't been touched. I think it's important that it is because we care about our schools. We do care, we do give back to our schools. And it's good. We talk about Black image. We're talking about creating the image of what the Black man needs to look like on TV and in videos, on the internet. This is the image that I think is absolutely beautiful to see our Black women and our Black men dressed up as in polo, looking professional, looking like we about to run shit. So I'm absolutely excited about it. And not only is he doing this as far as with the Coleman member, they're also donating $2 million to 12 HBCUs for scholarship funds and tuition. So it's also giving back to the community that they're monetizing off. So it's a win-win situation, and I'm super excited for this. And I will be rocking an all-white polo dress at my child's baptism. Okay, sorry. Okay, look, I was a little excited.
I love it. Listen, I love it. As a Howard University alum, I'm here for everything that you said. At the end of the day, we are fucking flyest, and they're really using us for styling. People at HBCUs have always dressed the part, always look great. We didn't have whatever that was on Wednesdays at Howard, but just the yard on Mondays and Fridays, or the yard after spring break, was a place that you just always had to look good. And we had the Howard University newspaper, and they had a whole section called like Style of the Week or whatever, where they would have pictures of people on the yard styling, and you could end up in the school newspaper if you was looking fresh, possibly this week. So that's always been a big thing. So to see them collaborate, it's a good thing, as long as everybody is getting what they deserve, and as long as everyone's getting paid fairly, and everyone's treated fairly, and everyone is dealt with fairly, and things are negotiated in a particular way, then I'm all here to support it. Now, if they're using it to monetize and not paying the people who are contributing the content, the creativity, the styling, the profiling, then that's a problem, because you're no longer monetizing for a beneficial to the people that are creating it. And then that totally discounts the whole paying homage part, because where is the check, right? So I think that as long as all of the things are adding up, then I'm all the way here for it. I love it. I can't wait to see it come out. Growing up, I was a little bit preppy, as we may have noticed. So I was the type to shop at places like Polo. I was big Abercrombie and Fitch and like Hollister and American Eagle. Like those were, that's where I shopped as a teenager. So I love this style of clothing. So I'll definitely be getting something, and I'm excited about it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. And I think it's important. It's not appropriation, because they had the idea, but however, it's all the entire program and what they're doing is all Black. Yeah. And they even asked the presidents of Morehouse and Spelman as far as their input as well too. So we've always wore polo. This has always been in hip hop. You've always seen T.I. polo. You've always seen Young Dro. Right.
Young Dro.
Right. It's always been an essence in our community as far as our fashion. Yeah. So why not show fashion on the other side of how Black people do dress, the upper echelon maybe, or, just looking fly. So.
And they're putting a lot of money behind it too. There's multiple billboards of the campaign of actual Morehouse students all around Atlanta.
Right, they're the model.
A girl I went to high school with is in one. I just saw it on Facebook. She said, "I want a billboard, guys," and it was the campaign. It was dope. So them putting money behind the marketing and advertising says a lot too about how they feel about the collection. So I think it's good.